everyone, once again, and welcome to another episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Today we're going to talk about basketball, and first we'll talk about the men's basketball team. Joining me is Tyler Fangman and Brian Schlatter. Tell us a little bit about your career here at IUE. Brian, we'll start with you.
My career has kind of been littered with a bunch of crazy stuff. I've been back and forth to IUPUI, and I eventually came back. But I love where I'm at now. It's been a crazy journey. I've been fortunate enough to been to Branson, been to a lot of places. My career is not as what the fans see as a crazy point score or anything. But I talk to Coach a lot, and he appreciates what I do, and all the other guys do. So yeah.
Now, when you were at IUPUI, did you have a chance to play basketball there?
No, it was more so of a family thing. I kind of went home, wasn't really liking what I was doing here, wasn't really enjoying it, and I eventually talked to Coach again and said, I would love to come back. I kind of made a mistake, and he's like, we'd love to have you back. And Tyler missed me a little bit, so I came back.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, what made you want to come back to IUE?
I had a lot of opportunity here outside of basketball. With jobs and friends and teammates and stuff. And, I kind of missed it. I played for, all the way since I can remember. And then leaving it for a semester, I was like, holy cow, I really missed it. And like I said, Coach Hester was like, we'd love to have you back. You're part of the family, and welcome back. So.
All right, how about you, Tyler?
I've been here all 4 years. Had an amazing experience here. Still got a little bit left. Hoping to bring home, national championship here. So this is my last year. Made a lot of memories with some guys I'll never forget, guys I'll keep in touch with for years to come. Like he said, we've been seeing places I probably wouldn't have seen on my own, Branson, Missouri. We've been in New York last year, just experiences that I'll never forget. And, I don't have any regrets, so.
Right. Now, is this where you guys expected to be at this point in the season? We'll start with you, Tyler.
Yes and no. We knew this year we were going to have a lot more talent than we had, last year. We have, a deep bench. We can go, 12, 13 deep instead of last year we were kind of 6 or 7 deep. So we knew we were going to be able to get deeper into games and go deeper in the season. Had a couple losses here recently that, were tough ones and that we weren't expecting to have. But as of right now, I'd say we're in the right place right now. So.
All right. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Of course, any loss is tough. Mm-hmm. The last couple ones have been really tough. But I feel like now that all the conference games are starting, and we had a big win against Rio a couple nights ago, I feel like we are where we want to be right now, especially in the conference.
And how's the season going for the team as a whole?
I feel like at the beginning of the year, we had a lot of freshmen, and we do start 2 freshmen with Brad and Jacoby. So it's kind of hard to keep a group as close as we were, and then bring in a bunch of guys, and everybody kind of gel together. But I feel like there was no tough parts. It was right into it, and after a couple of weeks, we were family right away. And I'm sure Tyler can back this up. You can talk to anybody about anything, basketball or non-basketball related, and we're really close as a team. And I feel like the season, I think we're going pretty well so far, yeah.
Now, you mentioned starting 2 freshmen. That's Brad Hunt and Jacoby Claypool.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like they bring to the team?
I feel like Jacoby came in, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think is he a walk-on? I think he is, isn't he? I'm not sure. I just know that when he came in here, he was kind of quiet. I didn't really know too much about him. And he's became, I think, one of our bigger leaders just on and off the floor. Just the way he controls the game and the way he talks to us, and it's kind of refreshing to see such a young kid come in and tell me things, and I learn from him just as much as he learns from me. And Brad, he's just a big man down low. He does his job, and when he's playing well, he really, really helps us out.
How about you, Tyler? How do you think the season's going?
That's one thing he hit on is that family atmosphere, and I think this year's been more of a family atmosphere than we've had in the past since I've been here, and I think that's really helped us, stay together and, get through some of these grueling practices, these long practices, and get through some of these tough games. We won a couple games, close games, that, last year we couldn't pull out, but this year I think we came together as a team, that brotherhood experience, and came out with some big wins, so I think it's.
Now, Brian, both of you actually keep mentioning the family thing here at IU East, and a lot of schools where if you leave the school and go to another one and that brotherhood's broken out of school, they don't want you back normally. But what's it like to you to be able to have that brotherhood with the rest of the team and them willing to take you back? this time?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. My freshman year, it was we had 5 freshmen. It was me, Tyler, Houston Clark, Brandon Muncie, and Robbie Howell, and all of us deemed ourselves the Fab Five, like Michigan had. And we were unfortunately Brandon and Robbie have left us, but it's still us 3, me, Tyler, and Houston, and we'll always be a family. I think regardless of who leaves and who does what, and just having that was enough, I think, for me to come back. And then just being welcomed by everybody. Some of the freshmen really didn't know who I was when I got here because I wasn't here, half the year last year. And for them to still be able to say, okay, he knows what he's talking about. He's been here. We can still learn from him. I think made it, very easy for me to come back.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the most recent games. The first one was a loss at the College of Ozarks. It was an 81-67 loss. Tell us a little bit about that game, Tyler.
It was a good experience getting to play there at the national tournament where the national tournament's going to be held. They're a good team. They're a top 25 team. They hit everything they shot. We didn't really come in with the same energy that we had in the past. I think that kind of led to our demise ultimately. It was at their home gym. They had a good crowd. So it just didn't fall for us that game.
All right, Brian, tell us a little bit about the loss against Bellevue. That was also at the College of the Ozarks, an 80-70 game.
Right. That game, we hung in there for, I want to say, at least 35, 36 minutes. It was, a 2-point game. And I remember they had a little guy that kept hitting, or he missed the shots in the first half, and he hit, I think, 2 or 3 big threes way late in the second half, which kind of hurt us. We got lost on some screens, I think. But if you look back at those games, it was more of a not doing the little things right, which I know Coach would, that's what we work on every day is the little stuff. So I feel like, there were tough games to lose, but I still feel like, we're learning from them, and definitely those 2 games are going to help us in the future, I think.
All right, 2 recent wins. The first one was at Wilberforce, an 88-72 game. Tyler, tell us about that one.
Wilberforce, we came off the 3 losses there in a row, and we knew we needed a statement game to make sure we were, back where we needed to be. So we came in there. In the first half, we played great. We played one of our best halves of basketball probably to this date. Got out to a quick lead. In the second half, we kind of dropped off a little bit. We kind of went back to our old ways the previous 3 games, but we ended up pulling it out and getting a 16-point win or whatever it was. So that was good for us to get back on track and get us going in the direction we need to go.
And a crazy game against Rhino Grand here at home, a 95-85 win in overtime. Brian, tell us about that game.
Yeah, that game was nuts. I don't know if I can tell you much about halftime. I don't know if you want to know what was said in halftime. But it was a great team win. It really was. I want to say we were down by at least 15 with not too much time left, and I know Coach was thrilled the way we all came together and made plays, and ultimately got it all together because that was a big win. For them to come in here and try to beat us, their first, or I think it was their second conference game, first game ever against us. For us to beat them how we did it, it shows that they may be able to come in here and get a little lead. We're gonna pull through and get a win at the end.
Now, Tyler, you had a little bit of an injury there right before halftime. Tell us what happened there.
I closed out on the guy who ended up shooting a 3 in my face, and I went to contest it, jumped, left the ground, and came down on his foot and rolled over my right ankle. It's just a minor sprain. It's not too bad. It's a little nagging injury right now. So.
All right. Well, I have one last question for you guys, and that is, why is character important, and how does it help a team's performance? Brian, we'll start with you.
I feel like one of the biggest thing Coach always tells us is about our habits, and I feel like if we do a lot on and off the court, especially with the Champions of Character stuff. So I feel like as a whole, it kind of builds our character, like I said, on and off the floor. It makes us realize that basketball can help us in other ways than just athletics. It can help us in our jobs, and definitely those kind of areas.
All right, how about you, Tyler?
Kind of hitting on what he said. We go out in the community a lot and give back to the community as much as we can. And, going out there and meeting new people and, getting the networking, it not only helps us, on the floor or basketball-wise, but it also helps, if we need a job later on in life. Also, you learn, respect people and other things like that. So, everything like that just helps out with basketball and life outside of basketball. So.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining me. When we come back from the break, we'll talk with the women's basketball team captains right here on Inside IUE Sports.
This is where a busy mom can work toward a bachelor's degree from a top national university during softball practice. It's where a service member can continue his college studies from anywhere in the world, and where you'll benefit from one of the country's most effectively delivered online programs.
Woohoo!
So, if you've ever wondered if a college education is really worth it, this is where you'll see that it is. This is Indiana University East Online.
And welcome back to Inside IUE Sports. It's time to talk about women's basketball, and joining me is the women's basketball team captains, Bailey Dryman, Mackenzie Bowles, and Kerrigan Niehoff. Great season so far, probably a lot further along than what some of you expected, but how do you think the team has improved throughout the course of the season since the opening game at Taylor University? Bailey, we'll start with you.
Okay. I think at first you could tell that we were just like a big group of freshmen. I think we had like a lot of individuals on the team, and then the more that we've been playing, like you hear from just people around campus and people coming around saying, you guys play like such a team, and like that's such a compliment, and it's just showing that we're coming together and we're just creating more chemistry every game.
How about you, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I agree with that. We're definitely playing together a lot more. The first couple games we struggled a little with the individuality and all that, but we're working as a team now, and I think that's going to be a major strength.
Now, you mentioned individuality. Did Coach Selhorst work with you guys on any of that in practice on how to work together better as a team?
Yeah, we do a lot of different drills that require you to like work with your own team, and we struggle, but ultimately that's going to help us in the game. So.
All right, how about you, Kerrigan?
Like she said, just playing together, the more the helps. So, we do practice drills to help us with that, but just the more we played, the more we got used to playing with each other. So.
All right, well, the record is now 11-7 on the season, 1-1 in the Kayak Conference. Is this where you expected to be at this point in the season, Bailey?
I came from a school where I don't think I lost more than like 15 games my entire high school. So it's definitely different, but I mean, we're so new and we're so young. Like that is something that was expected coming here, but I mean, I don't think our record is bad, but I don't think it does us justice either. But that's part of being new and being young, but we don't want to use that excuse. But
right, how about you, Mackenzie?
Yeah, I think it's about what we expected. I think we could have won a couple more games, but it's not bad for the first season so far.
All right, Kerrigan?
Same. We had no idea what to expect coming into this. None of us had played before, so I think it's pretty good. It shows how we've been doing, but yeah, there are a few games that we should have won and we could have won, but just being freshmen, so hopefully next year it'll be better. So.
All right, well, let's take a look at some of the recent games. The first one I want to ask you guys about is a 82-61 win at Wilberforce. Bailey, tell us a little bit about that game.
We came in at Wilberforce and, we played them before and they were short on players and they ended up, one girl fouling out and they only played with 4. And we knew that wasn't going to be the case. They got some girls coming back and we just knew we had to come in and play hard and that we would come out with a win. It was a rough game, but I think ultimately we did a lot better. We came together and pulled out a win.
Right. And then the next game was a 95-81 loss against Rio Grande. Mackenzie, tell us a little about that game at home.
That game we kind of struggled, but at the end of the game she actually said we won the second half, I believe. So we did build on it, but we just didn't do the little things. We didn't play great defense, and it showed.
And what were some of the major issues in that game? Was it just shooting percentage, or what was it?
Well, the thing is, when your shots don't fall, we have to work harder on defense, and we didn't really make up for that. We weren't really crashing the boards as well, aside from a few, including them. I think it was just defense. We just needed to do the little things better.
All right, and then the most recent game was a 101-52 win at the University of Cincinnati Clermont. Kerrigan, tell us a little bit about that game.
We came in and we were just looking, our main focus was defense. So we just came in, worked on our defense, and then that transitioned into our offense. So that really helped, and we did that throughout the whole game, and we used fresh legs, so we subbed a lot, so that really helped too.
Now, you mentioned that defense seemed to be a little bit of an issue in the Rio Grande game. Was that Coach Sohorst's main reason for wanting to work on defense in the game at Cincinnati?
Yeah, definitely. Like, that exposed like our weakness. Like, we have so many talented players that they'll hit their shots all the time, but when our shots aren't falling, we have to be able to make up for it and compensate with defense.
Now, Bailey, also, you're up by that many points in a game, and you get to really rotate the entire bench into the game. What's that like for the team?
I think that's just great for our team to get everyone in. You know, everybody scored on our team, and like that's so big for us because, you know, people's mentality can get down if they're not getting a lot of minutes, and then coming into a game like that and just everybody played well. Like, you couldn't tell our 5 starters from the first 5 off the bench. I think everybody just came out and just you know, worked hard, did play defense, which was Coach was very happy about. So I think that was really good, and it showed how much talent that we do have on our team.
All right, well, the next game is on the 17th at IU Kokomo. Kerrigan, tell us a little bit about what you guys are looking forward to at that game.
We really haven't looked forward to it. I mean, we haven't practiced with them any, so I don't know.
Now, Coach Sohorst also gave you guys a little bit of time off earlier this week. Was that just to rest up after having that doubleheader this past weekend, Bailey?
I have no idea, but I'm really glad we got a couple days off.
We don't play until Saturday, so it's nice to have a couple days off.
All right, well, you've got 12 games left for the remainder of the season. What do you expect the rest of the season to be like, Mackenzie?
I expect us to really focus more on defense and play harder, and I think we can be really successful.
All right, and how about you, Kerrigan?
I think we just need to get everybody playing our hardest throughout the whole game. I know a lot of us, probably all of us, we peak it sometimes and we take plays off. So we really need to focus on playing the whole game our hardest, and Coach will get us subs in and subs out, so that'll help us.
And how about you, Bailey?
What was the question again?
We're just talking about what you expect the rest of the season to be like.
That's definitely going to be a part, probably the most challenging part, because they're all conference games, and Coach really stresses that whenever we're in practice. And I think like now's the time that we need to go on our stretch, and I think we're getting a lot better at defense, and defense wins games, so I think we should be pretty successful these last few games.
And what do you think that the team needs to work on the most to be prepared for the conference tournament, Mackenzie?
The most, probably just doing the little things like defense, blocking out, just getting it inside you to make those hustle plays.
All right, how about you, Kerrigan?
The same thing, defense, rebounding. I know Coach says it a lot. The games that we out-rebounded our opponents, we won every one. So that's a big thing. We need everybody crashing the boards, just keep at it.
And how about you, Bailey?
I think we just have to come out with like the desire to win. I think if we want it more than other teams, then you know we're going to do that. Like if we just come out with more heart, then I think we can get the win.
All right, well, one last question for you guys. Why is character important, and how does it help a team's performance, Mackenzie?
Character is important whether you're playing basketball or whether you're going to get a job or with your family. So I think using that character we learn in basketball, we can use that later in life too, and it'll just be helpful all around.
All right, how about you, Kerrigan?
I think if you have character, you trust each other more, and that really helps on the floor. You know, you can trust our teammates, and it just really shows in our work and outside of our basketball and everything. So.
All right, how about you, Bailey?
I think character is really important in this team, and I think like we all show we all really do have good character. You know, half the girls we go do like stuff with Girls Inc., and then we do other stuff outside of school, and just like I think that shows like how like well respected our program can be, and how that represents the school as well.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining me, and congratulations on a great start to a season. Good luck throughout the remainder of the season. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports.
Dylan Newman had a terrible dislocated shoulder after a bad dirt bike accident. The long-term solution, surgery and intense rehab.
I trusted Reed Orthopedics because they'd already fixed my ankle. And within 4 months of my surgery, Dr. Miller and my Reed therapist, April, helped me to regain my motion and most of my strength. Thanks to Reed Ortho, I can get back to what I love. It's all about trust. Right, Dr. Miller?
right here at Reed.
Right here in Richmond.
And welcome back to more Inside IUE Sports. It's time for Wolf Smack. Wolf Smack is where I'll ask each of our guests a question, they will answer it, and the winner that I choose that gives the best answer gets 30 seconds of face time to promote whatever they would like. Today's question is, what is your favorite professional sports team, and why is your team the best? Kerrigan, we'll start with you.
I'd have to say the Indianapolis Colts. I really only watched them, I guess, the past couple games, the playoffs. But I don't know, their defense has been really good, and Andrew Luck, with him being a rookie, he's really stepped up and taken over the team. So.
All right, how about you, Bailey?
I'm going to have to go with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers has like a strained muscle, and he's still out there for playoffs doing what he loves because he's great. Eddie Lacy's just running the ball so well, so strong. Clay Matthews, my favorite player, he's just a man. So, they're still in it. So, Sunday I was a little worried because I missed the game because we had a game. But I was like, you know what, we're going to win, they're going to win, it's going to be great. And they won, so next Sunday.
How about you, Mackenzie?
Mine's also the Colts, but I feel like you just have to support your own state when you're from Indiana. You have to support the Colts, and we used to have Peyton Manning, and now we have Luck, so pretty proud.
You're gonna need Luck. Ha! Ouch.
I see what you did there. But now, what are you going to do if the Colts win and Green Bay both wins, and then you've got the Super Bowl matchup? It's 2-on-1 here. What are you going to do?
Oh, I mean, the Packers are going to win. Because they're great. They're just great.
All right. Well, even though it's not an out-of-state team, you did give the most detailed answers, so I'm going to choose Bailey as the winner of Wolf Smack today. So you get 30 seconds of face time to promote whatever you'd like.
Right now?
Right now.
Okay. Next game, home game, January 20th. Come out and support the boys and girls basketball teams.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me for both your segment about the women's basketball team and for Wolf Smack. We'll be right back with more Inside IUE Sports. Welcome back to Inside IUE Sports, and that sound you just heard means that it's time for Wolf Center. Wolf Center is where we take a look back at last week's IU East results and ahead to next week's schedule. You can download the Wolf House sound you just heard for free by downloading the free IU East Athletics app at the App Store or the Google Play Store. Now let's take a look back at last week's results. On December 20th, the IU East women's basketball team defeated IU South Bend 77-71. Kerrigan Niehoff contributed 19 points and 13 rebounds for the Red Wolves. Also on December 20th, the men's basketball team won at Madonna 70-66. Tyler Fingman scored the go-ahead three-pointer for IU East and had 14 points. On December 30th, the women's basketball team won another game on the road at Northwestern Ohio 91-81. Tia King had 29 points and 9 rebounds. On December 30th, the men's basketball team fell to Indiana Tech 93-86. Jacoby Claypool had 17 points. On January 2nd, the men's basketball team lost to Ozarks 81-67. Dom Williams scored 10 points with 6 rebounds. On January 3rd, the men's basketball team lost to Bellevue 80-70. Vache Davis had 14 points and 8 rebounds. On January 7th, the women's basketball team beat Wilberforce 82-61. Brooke Packer had 12 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. On January 7th, the men's basketball team picked up a win at Wilberforce 88-72. Houston Clark had 16 points and 10 rebounds for the Red Wolves. On January 10th, the IU East women's basketball team fell to Rhino Grande at home 95-81. Tia King had 20 points and 9 rebounds. Also on January 10th, the men's basketball team came back to win 95-85 in overtime. Lucas Huffman added 14 points off the bench. On January 11th, the women's basketball team won at University of Cincinnati Claremont 101-52. Kristen Miller led the way in scoring with 22 points. And now taking a look ahead at the schedule, on January 17th, the women's basketball team will travel to IU Kokomo Both schools have first-year programs, and tip-off is at 1 p.m. Also on the 17th, the men's basketball team also in action at IU Kokomo. Game time is at 3 p.m. Both games will be online at IUERedWolves.com. On January 20th, the women's basketball team will play Brescia at home at 6 p.m. And also on the 20th, the men's basketball team will also be at home against Brescia at 8 p.m. Both games will be broadcast live on the Red Wolves Sports Network at IUERedWolves.com. And on January 22nd, the women's basketball team will travel to Midway. The game starts at 7 p.m. on IUERedWolves.com. That concludes this week's episode of Inside IUE Sports. I'm your host, Caleb Gillock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.